Hello to whoever is watching this. I'm so excited to be introducing you to my introductory human design workshop, which is called Thrive by Design. So, this workshop is perfect for you if you are interested in human design, but you don't know much about it, or you know about human design, you've heard about it before, and you only know your energy type. If you're interested in knowing your partner's big three in human design, your best friend's big three, or you're just simply interested in the system itself and you want to learn more information about the foundational aspects that make up human design. So let's get into it. This again is called Thrive by Design. This is to me like the core and the foundation of what every single person should know if you're getting into human design. So the way that I structure this information is really so that you are able to master your big three, which will go over your energy type, your authority, and your profile, so that you can maximize every single aspect of your life. A lot of clients that work with me come to me wanting to know about their human design because they want to use it for their career and for their professional life. But the great thing about this information is you can really infuse this knowledge into every aspect of your life. So whether you're looking for your life partner, you're going through a major life transition, you're looking to move, you're looking to just be really, really clear in your decision-making strategy, or you're looking for a new job, you're looking to become an entrepreneur. Like, seriously, whatever it is, human design will benefit you in your life. So, let's jump right into it. A little bit about me. My name's Rebekah Joy. If you are new to me and new to what I offer, I'm a self-development coach. I teach human design and I'm a motivational speaker. And I love to share this knowledge. I love to share any type of personal growth, self-development knowledge because I am just obsessed with it. And I have been studying all of this stuff for close to 10 years now. It's been a long, long time. So, human design, what is it about? So, human design is not about forcing change. It's not about putting you in this box. It's about you coming home to yourself. Like, my job and my role as a teacher and someone who shares this incredible knowledge is to get you to understand that the only thing that we, like as individuals, need to understand is we just need to understand how we operate and we just need to understand ourselves. Once you do, everything else in your life just flows. So, human design is really about curating and creating this world that you love to live in that feels in alignment with you, that feels harmonious for you, that feels expansive for you, that feels like I can be me in this world and show up in this world of mine that I'm creating and have things happen for me. So, this system is really meant to support you. Unfortunately, I think with a lot of these personality tests and even with astrology, sometimes people can look at these systems as a way to box you in and almost like constrict you. That's not the point here. The point of understanding yourself and leveraging this, like, truly, enlightening, transformative, illuminating knowledge is to expand you in every aspect of your life and for you to remove this, pent up guilt and shame because maybe some things just, aren't a natural strength of yours, or maybe you're weaker at some things. Like, human design, for me at least, helped to validate all of these things about myself that for the longest time I held on to so much guilt and so much shame about. So, in this specific masterclass that we will be going over today, you are going to learn how to align your true essence by embodying that big three knowledge, again, which is your energy type, your authority, and your profile. So, when you start to, of course, learn about this information, but you start to integrate it and actually embody it in your life, oh my gosh, you are just going to see seriously how expansive you feel and just how right it feels doing things the way that you want to do them, which is like the secret way that everyone wants to live their life. So you're going to experience more luck, more blessings, more gifts, more miracles. You will experience more ease and more alignment in your everyday life and feel less of like you're trudging through the mud, and it'll feel less sticky. and you will experience just more flow in every aspect of your life. Or that is my hope with you walking away with this information. So, a little bit of background when it comes to human design. So, the system itself is made up of 5 different systems. So, Eastern and Western astrology, the chakra system, which most people know about these two, astrology and the chakra system. Obviously, people know about quantum physics and the genetic code as well, the Judaic Kabbalah, and then also the Chinese Book of Changes, which is called the I Ching. So, this system was founded by a man whose original name was Robert Allen Krakauer. He was in Ibiza in 1987, and he had this like mystical awakening, this mystical experience where he received these downloads and he received these insights from these 5 systems. So a few years after that experience, he then synthesized all of these systems together and basically pulled elements from each system and created his own comprehensive system that provides a unique framework for understanding individual energy dynamics. It helps you with decision-making processes and really actualizing our personal potential, our individual potential. So, again, founded in Ibiza in 1987, the system itself basically was born in 1992. So, if you're hearing, 1992, this is a fairly new system, I would say. Most people know about astrology, but human design is something that is coming online. I expect within the next 3-ish years, probably, most people will have either heard about human design or will have, known about their human design in a similar aspect to knowing their astrology, which I think is just like so mind-blowing and so, so cool. Personally, the way that I see astrology and human design, astrology is more of we get to see a bigger lens as to who we are. We get to see our personality type shine through very strongly. We get to see these patterns that we experience in our life. We get to see, where we are meant to transition the most. So astrology gives us a broader lens and more of like a macro lens as to who we are. When it comes to human design, we're really getting into the micro of how we operate. So it really is all about energy dynamics. Of course, our personality shines through in our human design chart. We get to see, where we are naturally strong, where we're naturally a little bit weaker, where we are, influencing other people, where we are picking up, other people's wisdom, we are picking up other people's energy, and then also how we make our decisions in everyday life. So to me, human design is all about self-discovery, personal development, personal growth. It's all about really harnessing our energetic output in daily life, which I find to be so, so, so fascinating. Like, don't you want to know how you can just like create a better tomorrow today? Like, I think that that is just so cool and so transformative. It helps us to understand our aligned decision-making strategy. It allows us to unlock the patterns that we, experience in our everyday life. And then we also get to tap into our natural strengths and some of our natural weaknesses as well. So, what's your big 3? Okay. This term we see in astrology a lot. In astrology, your big 3 is your sun sign, which is really like the role, the identity that you have, your moon sign, which is how you process things emotionally, basically like your inner world. And then we have something called your rising sign, which is actually what most people see. So if you've ever met someone and they're like, guess my sun sign, you're like, no. Because the rising sign is actually the mask that you are wearing when you first show up in the world. So that's your big 3 in astrology. I think that it's equally as important to understand your big 3 in human design because if anything, like if you don't know anything else about human design, integrating your big 3 will completely change your life again in every single aspect of your life. So to me, your big 3 is really like the core elements that make up your human design. So we will be going into the number 1 most important aspect of understanding your design, which is your energy type. we'll be going into your authority, and then we'll be going into your profile. So if you want to take out your phone so that you can look at your chart or look up your chart while we are going over this information, you can do so now, but you're always going to have access to this. So you will be able to look up your chart later. But this is fun to do if you want to, compare and contrast everything that we go over in this workshop. So for an example, we're going to learn how to interpret this, but this is my chart. So I am a 6-2 emotional manifesting generator. This is what makes me a manifesting generator. I have my sacral lit up. I have my throat lit up. I have a connection here, which is what makes me a manifesting generator. I'm a 6-2, and then I'm an emotional because I have my solar plexus lit up. I know that you're like, oh my gosh, like, how did you do that? We're going to go over that. So here are the 5 energy types. So what is your energy type? Basically, this is your natural way of interacting with the world and basically how you make things happen for yourself. So why this is easily the most important aspect of understanding your design is that there are only 5 energy types and every single person falls under one of these 5 categories. So we have the generator, the manifesting generator, the projector, the manifester, and the reflector. So let's go into the generator. So some key traits about the generator. They are energetic, they are consistent, they respond, so they are very responsive, they are magnetic, and they are very masterful at what they do. So the generator is the most common energy type that people fall under right now. Now, this may shift in the coming years, but right now, generator is the most popular energy type. So generators are known as the creators and the builders. So the generators are people that kind of operate like an Energizer bunny because they are ruled by their sacral center. And because they're ruled by their sacral center, this is the center in the chart that has the most energy to give and to go and do and create and build, basically. So they have sustainable energy. What that looks like in their everyday life is they have this consistent life force energy when they're putting their energy into things that they really love and things that they really, really care about. So with that being said, they have so much energy to give when they're doing things that they love, when they're doing things that fulfill them, when they're doing things that basically fill their cup. They have a natural responsive nature. So these people really do thrive on what's right in front of them. They are meant to respond so quickly to what's right in front of them based on what their sacral, which is their gut center in their body, based on what that center is telling them. So instead of just going out and initiating things, they have to sit back and wait until they have this natural physical response towards something. So they really, really rely on their gut feelings in order to make the best decision for them. So what this looks like in everyday life, and I love to give this example, is let's say that you are window shopping with a girlfriend, you're walking down the street, you see this gorgeous red crocodile bag, and you're like, I need this bag. It's like you almost feel like your whole body is so lit up and you feel like you're being like pulled towards this bag. That is your physical body responding to this external stimuli. So a lot of people think, especially when it comes to work in their profession, like we have to just always be initiating things, but generators actually have to sit back and wait until they have this very strong positive physical response towards something. It's really going to feel like you're being pulled towards something. So we always want to make sure that we are basically cleaning up our aura. What that looks like is constantly taking inventory of where you are putting your time, your energy, and your money in your life so that you aren't just like putting things and putting tasks on your plate simply out of, well, I said I would do this, or I've always done this. This is very comfortable for me. Basically, we want to make sure that we are signaling to this universe that we have open energy in our aura for opportunities to be dropped in our lap, okay? We need that open space because if not, we're signaling to the universe, sorry, but my plate is full and I don't have any energy to respond to things. So, what can happen when your plate is full and you're saying yes, 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 yes to these things that actually don't fill you up and don't bring you any sense of joy and fulfillment? Remember, you are driven by your life force energy, okay? This life force energy is the energy that translates into you becoming this magnetic, sparkly, like irresistible human being that people just want to be around. Have you ever met someone where you're like, oh, like I just want to be around you because of your energy? That's what it's about. We're going off of energy here because we are all energetic beings. So, what can happen is a lot of generators can fall under this spell of becoming just a natural people pleaser because they do have so much energy to give. If they aren't careful, they start saying yes to all of these things that actually don't feel like a yes in their body. So, this can very easily drain your energy, and then you're burnt out, you're exhausted, you have none of that life force energy for yourself. If you think about your iPhone, okay, like, your if your iPhone's on 7%, like it really doesn't have that much battery to give you, so you can't really use it. So, we again need to be really conscious and make sure that we are only saying yes to the things that fully light us up. And you can like really feel this energy in your body. If you've ever been somewhere, whether it's you're in a situation, you're in an environment, you're around certain people, and you really feel like your body is like expansive. And then I'm sure you've been in positions where you feel like, ooh, I'm just like getting smaller and I'm feeling really like restrictive. So really tune into what your physical body is telling you with those motions. And also, every single energy type has something called a not self. So, a not self is basically what you feel in your body when things are not in alignment. And then we also have something called your signature. So, the signature for the generator is like pure just excitement, and they feel lit up by life, and they are just so satisfied with what they're experiencing in life. Now, their not self is frustration. If you've ever felt like, oh, I'm just like putting so much of my energy towards this and I'm not getting that return that I want, that can be your body signaling to you that we're actually not using our energy really effectively and really efficiently. Because naturally, generators are very, very hardworking. They're really diligent. They're really reliable. And for them, their energy is really meant to be spent on mastering their craft. That's not to say that you can't have more than one craft in a lifetime, but for generators, like we want to see them kind of going like this when it comes to their trajectory. It's like putting in that 1%, day after day, week after week, month after month, pouring their energy in the right lane because really their purpose here is to show other people how to love their life more. Your job is to just like signal with your energy, like, I can actually have so much fun doing what I'm doing, and I can be so lit up where you now look at me and you're like, oh, I want to be like that. I may not want to do the exact same thing as you, but like now I see through you living out, you like operating in alignment with your energy, like I can actually make a hell of a lot of money doing what I love because your energy is being put in the right direction. So that is the generator. Now, what your chart is going to look like if you are a generator is you are going to have your sacral center lit up. This is like basically the only like key trait here of what makes you a generator. But next we're going to go into what makes up a manifesting generator. But if you have this center lit up, which is your sacral center, you are either a generator or a manifesting generator. So now we're moving on to the manifesting generator. So basically take everything that I just said about the generator, but multiply it times like five, basically. So the manifesting generator is known as the multi-hyphenate, multi-talented human being. Some key traits to explain the man gen is that they are very expansive, they are incredibly versatile, they are adaptive and very adaptable, they are incredibly innovative and very dynamic. So these are people that are meant to basically like multiply their energy. Again, take everything that I said about the generator and multiply it times five. So they have so much energy, and these are people that can have like 8 pots on the stove at once, basically. But it all comes down to, does that thing really light them up? So for them, they have very dynamic energy because they possess this vibrant energy that allows them to basically juggle so many different tasks at once. For them, more is more. The world has basically conditioned a lot of the manifesting generators to say, like, choose one lane and put all of your energy and focus all of your attention on that one thing. That is very true for the generator, but for the manifesting generator, you may have 5 different lanes that you want to put your energy in. That is very much so in alignment for you. So don't let someone tell you that just because you're doing that, you can't do these 3 other things on the side. Again, you're lit up by your sacral center. This is the home of that life force energy, but it is meant to be split into so many different directions. So for you, you do respond just like the generator. So what that looks like is we again have to sit back, allow the universe to bring us those opportunities, and then once we get that positive physical response to something, then we can rush towards it. Then we can run towards it and put all of our time and energy and effort into that thing. Now, you are a mix of generator and manifester. Now, not to be confused here, you are a generator because you do have your sacral center lit up. That is the most important aspect here. But you do have manifestor tendencies as well. So we will get into this, but the manifestor is the initiator, where the generator is here to respond. So think of it as like one person, which is the manifestor, is here to be the cause. The generator is the effect. So for you, you may feel this rush and this urge and this like spontaneous energy within your body to always be initiating. But remember that that's just your body's way of signaling we're ready to move on to the next thing. And that's why you can pivot a lot. That's why you're super adaptive and super adaptable. So this is a person that really moves on from one thing to the next so much quicker than the next person. I'm a manifesting generator myself, and like I have had so many different jobs throughout my 20s. I would move on from job to job, hobby to hobby, passion to passion so quickly because once I did it and I felt like I got what I needed from it, I extracted that wisdom, I got the lessons that I needed to learn, or maybe I just became bored because we are super quick and we're ready to move on to the next thing so much quicker than the next person. I would move on. So don't let that energy hold you back. I believe that a lot of manifesting generators can hold themselves back because we think, just like the generator, everyone kind of has those people-pleasing tendencies and it comes out in different ways. But I think with the man gen, it's like we may feel like we're ready to move on to the next thing, but because of society or because of what we promised this one person, or maybe I like just wanted to finish this project, we for some reason can't let go. But you are meant to move on from one thing to the next really, really quick. So that may look like, you read a third of a book and you're like, I'm over it. I'm ready to move on to the next. Or maybe you were in a certain job for 3 months and you're like, okay, well, I got what I needed here and I'm ready to move on. Trust in yourself. And that's what this work is about, right? You don't have to believe anything that I'm telling you in this masterclass. But if you are able to take a step back from this and actually start to put this energy in motion and start to integrate this knowledge, you're going to see just how real and just how authentic all of this information is for you in your life. So With that being said, the man gen has a variety of interests. Again, like trust yourself and follow those passions, follow those hobbies. Even if the dots aren't connecting, I promise you, like with time, all of those dots will start to connect. It is more important for you to be lit up by the thing. It is not as important for all of those things to be in common or for some reason like have something to do with one another. Like they really don't. As long as they light you up and they are bringing you a sense of joy and fulfillment and you are excited by it, okay? We always want to come back to, does this excite me? Am I like excited to wake up in the morning and to work on it? Do I like fantasize at night and I just like don't want to go to bed because I'm so excited to work on this project or start this new book or like launch this new business? That's the energy that you want to hold on to. So for you, like have that, hold on to the satisfaction that you feel with every experience. But again, if you're feeling like, ugh, for some reason, like the energy is just not there anymore, or I'm bored, or I'm ready for a change, like drop it. You can always come back to it. Again, this is your life. You don't owe an explanation to anyone. And recognize when you're feeling frustrated, recognize when you're feeling like this is just not serving me anymore. Because you are someone that is incredibly innovative. The way that I see man gens is like you are a true alchemist. You are here to create this path that no one has walked on before. No one's seen this path. So for you, like you are meant to show people truly how expansive their life can be, how non-linear, how unconventional your life can be. Because guess what? You are living this life that has never been seen before, where generators are here to basically like boost the energy of everyone. Man gens are here to say, like, hey, I am creating this whole new path. Like, look what I did, and you can do it too. So that is the man gen. Now, what makes you a manifesting generator is you must have your sacral center lit up just like the generator. You also must have your throat center lit up. Now, some generators do have both here. Similar to my chart, they have their sacral center lit up. They also have their throat center lit up, but there needs to be a connection from the throat center here to one of the four motor centers, which are the root center, the sacral center, the ego or the heart center, and the solar plexus. So for me, I have a direct connection through this 2212 channel. That's what makes me a manifesting generator. Okay, let's move on to the projector. So if we're looking at percentages wise, generators are about 36% of the population. Manifesting generators are sitting at about 32% of the population, and projectors are sitting around 20% of the population right now. So projectors are known as the advisors, they're the guides, they are here to really work with the energy beings, which are the generators and the manifesting generators, and to help them make their life more efficient and more effective. So some key traits to explain the projector are that they are incredibly wise, they are intuitive, they are really great guides, they are incredibly insightful and very, very strategic. So these are people that are just naturally suited to provide insight and guidance to other people. A lot of projectors, like in the workforce, basically can be project managers. They're really great with Excel. These are people that are like business strategists. Like they love a strategy. Strategy comes so easy to them. These are the people that can spot the errors from a mile away. These are the people that are like, how did you not see this one thing that can help you triple how much you're making in your business? Like they are so incredibly insightful. And these are the people that can really spot like the very, very small nuances about things and help you create something that is more sustainable, help you create something that's more like energy efficient, whether that's just like how we operate as an individual or maybe like how your business operates. So for the projector, their strategy is to wait for the invitation. Now, I don't want this to scare you, and I don't want you to be thinking if you are a projector, oh, I just have to like wait around until someone invites me in. So while you are waiting for this invitation, basically you need to be recognized by someone else for what you are given them. Every single projector, just like every being, right? We all have our craft, we all have our niche, we all have the things that like people come to us for. Like we all have gifts and we all have strengths and we all have talents. For the projector, especially because you are driven by this recognition, for you, it's so important to be focusing like pretty much 80% of your time on you honing in on your craft, like solely focused on what is your niche, what are you so good at? What is the thing that like just comes so easily to you and comes so naturally to you? This may be the thing that also like really lights you up, but for you, it's just like, how do people not see this? Kind of just like this energy of like, people are dumb. Like, oh my gosh, how do you not see this? It's literally staring at you right in the face. Like, that is the energy that a projector has when they are really in their own flow, basically. So for them, people need to invite you in. People need to recognize that talent and that wisdom that you have. So this kind of works in like a two-step process. So basically, someone needs to first have this openness about themselves and openness about their energy and their aura, and they have to want what you have to give them. So what can happen for projectors is that a lot of times we just start like spewing out this advice. You can make this better. You could do that. You could do that. How do you not see this? But visualize I'm throwing a tennis ball at the wall and the tennis ball just like is constantly just like smacking me back in the face. I'm sure even if you aren't a projector, like I've done this myself too, right? It's like, oh, like I'm just gonna like throw all this really great advice at you. But if the other person is not ready to hear it, or if they don't want to hear it, they're not going to accept it. Okay. So, again, this is why it's so important for you to wait for that invitation. And in the meantime, focus on you, focus on your craft, focus on your energetic output so that when the right people and the right opportunities come through, you are going to be ready, like so ready to give them what they wanted. Because if they're coming to your door and they're like, okay, I wasn't ready for you a year ago, but now I am, then you know that things are truly in flow and in alignment. So people need to recognize you and your skill for what you have, and they really need to be ready for it, and they need to be willing and able to accept your knowledge and accept this insight and advice that you have to give to them. Because again, none of us are in the market for like wasting our time and energy. No, we only have a finite amount of time and energy to give to people. So we all want to make sure that we are using it in the most effective and efficient way possible. And really, that's what the projector is here to teach everyone. It's like, how can we use your energy in the most effective and efficient way? So for the projector, their signature is success. All projectors are obsessed with success. It's funny because when I have a session with a projector, they're always so hyper focused on like, okay, you shared with me what I'm really good at, and we, touched upon my strengths and all of these like positive, great things. But like, what can I work at more? What am I not good at? And I'm like, you're missing the point, but it is so projector of them because they are so obsessed with success. So if success to you means, listen, I'm making X amount of money each month, that's what success looks like for you. That's what success looks like for you, and that's totally okay. Like you get to define what success looks like for you in your life. Now, the not self for a projector is bitterness. You know that you are feeling bitter when you're just like, oh, I have so much great advice to give. I have so much good insight, and no one is wanting to hear me out. No one's wanting to work with me. No one's wanting to see my side. Like, I'm not a projector, but I know when I feel really bitter when someone is not willing and ready and able to take this advice that I have to give to them. If you are feeling that way, just remember that this may be this may be a really great test that the universe is giving you. And this test is saying, hey, we need to go inwards. We need to focus on ourselves. We need to focus on our craft. And it just is not time yet. And like, we have to trust in perfect timing because there is perfect timing. And the universe is going to bring the right people across our path in that perfect and right timing. So, a little bit more about projectors because you don't have that sacral center defined. I will show you in the next slide. You have a sacral center that is open. So, because of that, you do not operate with consistent life force energy. When we have those defined centers, what's happening there is it's consistent energy for us. We can always rely on it. We can always come back to it. When we have an open center, we're not as consistent. So we are more adaptive. We're more fluid. This is more to me of like a feminine type of energy. That's not to say that you can't access this energy, but you really are acting like a mirror for someone else. And that's why projectors, when they work with the manifesting generators or the generators, it's such like a beautiful cosmic connection because the projectors help amplify that energy being. They help amplify what the manifesting generator and the generator is here to do. And they also help mirror back to them what they need to see when it comes to this energy that they are pouring into their relationship or their business or even themselves, right? So projectors are deep observers. They gather wisdom through observation of people and systems. They're really, really, really good at picking up that life force energy in someone else. And because of that, they're super strategic. So these are people that are really capable of seeing that big picture and then offering someone else incredibly valuable insight. And again, they're the people that spot what other people are missing. It just comes so easy to them. So let's look at what makes you a projector. So again, you must have this sacral center undefined, and you must not qualify as a manifester because a manifester also has the sacral center open or undefined, but a manifester will have their throat center defined, and you need to have at least one center defined. So this is a projector here. They are a splenic projector because they have their spleen center lit up. They also have other centers lit up, but you basically need to have at least one center defined because if you have them all open, that makes you a reflector, which we will get into. So the fourth energy type out of five is the manifester. So the manifester is the visionary. This is the person that is saying, I am starting this whole new path. These are the people that initiate change. They are the informants. Again, going back to that cause and effect analogy, the manifester is the cause. They are starting something in a new direction, and the generators are here to help build that thing or help create that thing. So, key traits for the manifester are they are very bold and they are very courageous. They have this initiating energy about them. They are incredibly impactful, very powerful, and extremely independent. Initiators, natural initiators, these are people that are just like born as a visionary, okay? They thrive on new. They thrive on starting new projects. They thrive on new ideas. They thrive on just unconventional ways of doing things. Again, if we're going back to the manifesting generator has very strong manifestor tendencies. So that is why they can juggle so many things at once and why they like bop around from point A to point D to point X and then back to F. It's like they're all over the place because they do have that spontaneity about them, which comes from the initiating energy, which is what the manifester is basically here to do. They're here to initiate and to start change. They are here to challenge the norms, basically, because they operate off of urges and they operate off spontaneity. They work in an opposite fashion than the generator. So while the generator is known to like not just sit back and not do anything, but basically like look at life with this sense of openness, right? They have this like open aura. Manifestors are known for having this repelling aura. So it works in an opposite way than the generator, basically. So for them, they have this energy about them where they're like, I'm not going to wait for a sign from the universe. I'm not going to like wait to respond to something. Like, I just got this download. I just got this idea. I'm feeling this urge to go talk to someone or to go start this new business. So they operate off of initiating and being incredibly impactful. And within that energy, this is naturally just someone who like really, really values freedom and autonomy, and they just prefer to act without that external control. So a manifestor child may be someone that is like just really has this energy about them where they want to raise themselves. They don't like being told what to do. They don't want to be put in a box, which for them is something that you can feel very constricted if you aren't sharing, if you aren't speaking your truth. Again, the manifestor is ruled by having this defined throat center. So for them, it's really important to speak what's coming up, speak their truth, share what's on their mind, share what they have to say, and know that the right people will be attracted towards them. If I'm giving you this example of like a manifester on like a train platform saying like, hey everyone, my train is leaving in 15 minutes. This is where I'm going. If you want to, go to where we're going, like hop on my train. But if not, guess what? There's going to be 5 other trains coming in the next 10 minutes after mine. So you are meant to inform, you are meant to speak, you are meant to share your truth and not be scared of, well, what if someone doesn't like what I have to say? What if they think a certain way about me? That is how you can naturally make yourself shrink and make yourself feel smaller, because you may unconsciously make yourself feel smaller or downplay your presence and just like this natural bigness that you have about you to help other people feel comfortable, which can really hinder your leadership potential and really, really hinder this natural impact that you are here to give to people. Like, it's not your job to make sure that everyone's on board with what you have to say and what direction you're going in. Like, you are meant to create and carve out this new path and this new unconventional direction for people. And in doing so, you are going to inspire the people that are wanting to, walk that path with you. But at the same time, there are people that are going to be like, you are not for me. And naturally, a lot of people can think that manifestors are like super dramatic and super big. Like, you do have this natural bigness about your energy, but this bigness comes from being bold, and it comes from being courageous, and it comes from being apologetic and not being afraid to ruffle some feathers. Like, if you have this very, like, this energy of conviction about you, and you're so rooted in your truth, and you're so rooted in this is the direction that I'm moving in, you're not going to care if, 5 people come along or if everyone comes along. You're like, listen, this is what I feel called to do. If you want to come along, please come. But if not, that's okay, because there's going to be another direction for you to be led into. For the manifester, your not self is anger. I know that I have felt so much anger in the past, having very strong manifestor tendencies myself. So anger is a very true signal for you when you feel obstructed or you feel unsupported. You feel like people aren't listening to me. You feel like you just like have to make yourself feel smaller, again, to make other people feel comfortable. This is going to make you feel really, really angry and feel like I can't be my true, authentic self. Manifestors, when you're living in alignment with your design and with the way that your energy operates, you are going to feel so big, even if you're the tiniest person in the room. Like, again, everything always comes back to your energy. Also, you are naturally a very quick decision maker, because again, you're not like waiting to have that gut response like the generator. You're someone that's like, yep, just got this download and I'm ready to move in that direction. So you do act very swiftly and you do act very decisively, which again, naturally is just going to like lead the way for other people. So you are here to not just forge a new path for other people, but to really be called in the direction that your truth is leading you in. So, what makes you a manifester? Again, you must have your sacral undefined, just like the projector, but you will always, always have your throat defined. And then you must have at least one of the motor centers also defined. So again, the motor centers are the root center, the sacral center, your solar plexus, and then the ego or the heart center. So this person has a direct connection, or this channel, the 2145 channel, from their ego center to their throat center. So this is what makes you a manifester. Now, lastly, we have the reflector. So this is very, very rare. The manifestors, I can't remember if I mentioned this, but they are sitting around 8 to 9% of the population. Reflectors are about 1% of the population right now. 1 to 2, I will say. Very, very rare. So these people are known as the mirror, the chameleon, just like the shapeshifter. Some key traits to explain them is they are like a chameleon. They are incredibly sensitive, very reflective, incredibly discerning, and they go through a lot of cycles because they are constantly trying on different things from people. Basically, it's all based on who they're surrounding themselves with and what their environment looks like. So for them, they are the true mirrors of society. They are always going to reflect the health and dynamics of their environment and their community. This is just a true natural part of their essence. You may know a reflector right now, even though they are so rare. These are people that at any point in given time can just like change things about them. So naturally, they are incredibly adaptable, because they're always like trying on different personalities, trying on different things for size, basically. So they're always picking up on the energy and the emotions and the feelings and the personalities and the archetypes of everyone else that is surrounding them. So for them, their strategy is really to wait a lunar cycle. So a lunar cycle is basically the cycle that the moon moves through every month. So naturally for them, we say that a lunar cycle is around 28 days. Now, that's not to say that if you're a reflector, you're like, shoot, I have to wait a full 28 days to make a decision. But for you, time is on your side because you are always constantly picking up on the energies of everyone who's around you. And unless you're just like a hermit and staying inside your house all month, like you're naturally just going to pick up on all of the energies that are constantly circulating you. Just know that you need to give yourself enough time when it comes to making a decision, because we don't want you to make a decision based off of what you're feeling just because you're intaking, what everyone else is feeling. Because naturally, you operate really like a sponge. Out of everyone else, you are someone that is picking up so much of that external stimuli. So you just need a lot of time to separate from, am I making this decision because I was just around this group of people for 10 days, or am I making this decision because this is what I wholeheartedly want to do? So because of that, you are incredibly sensitive and you are very, very attuned to the energies and emotions of everyone else around you, which really is such an incredible superpower. But again, we need to make sure that you give yourself enough time to separate yourself from everyone else. But because of that, you are so incredibly wise, and you are here to give all of us that wisdom through your own personal reflections, because you gain those insights through that observation and really, really taking the necessary time to be very reflective, to be very contemplative, because naturally you're just going to really share what everyone else needs to hear because you're reflecting the health and the temperature of everyone else around you. So you are someone that is incredibly adaptable. You naturally adapt to different environments, different identities and experiences. You, out of everyone, is incredibly sensitive to the environment that you surround yourself with and in. So make sure that you are checking in with yourself. If you, let's say, like go to a coffee shop and you're like, I don't really like it there, or you just join this new book club and you're like, oh, I feel really good here. Like your body's going to tell you if this is somewhere that you really, really like or somewhere that does not make you feel good, because you are so open and so responsive to that energy that is surrounding you. So for you, think about it like you are like really the center and everyone else is around you. So naturally, reflectors are really, really good at cultivating a very strong community or a network or a tribe. Personally, I know a handful of reflectors that have a very, very strong knit community, and they are really the center of that community. They're basically like holding everything together because they're reflecting all of that energy. So your well-being is tied to the quality of your surroundings. So again, it's really, really important that you pay attention to what you are eating, what you are listening to, what you are feeding yourself, not just through food, but through information, through the energy of people, where you are spending most of your time. Like you just are so incredibly sensitive, and at any moment, you can pick up and change and become someone else. Again, it all depends on how something makes you feel because you are such a deep, deep, deep feeler. So for you, you are very community oriented and you really, really thrive in supporting and nurturing environments that honor your sensitivity and honor the insight that you have to give to everyone. Okay, so this is the easiest chart to spot. You will know that someone is a reflector if they have every single one of the nine energy centers open or undefined. So I wanted to add a few more points when it comes to energetic output and maintenance for each energy type. I realized after I originally recorded the masterclass that I forgot some of the most important aspects of understanding your energy type. My manifesting generator brain just like jumps from one idea to the next really quickly. So I want to backtrack a little bit and really talk about energetic output and maintenance when it comes to your energy type. So, I specifically want to talk about the difference between being an energy being, which is the generator and the manifesting generator. Basically, if you have a defined sacral, you're an energy being. If you don't, which means that you are either a manifester, a reflector, or a projector, you are a non-energy being. So when it comes to the energy maintenance of an energy being either a generator or a manifesting generator, just know that you technically, the way that you are designed, have this long-lasting energy and like this long-lasting life force energy to be basically given to the world. So if we think about a generator, this is someone who is really meant to be honed in on their one thing and on their one craft. This is the person that if they are living harmoniously within their design, they are pouring their energy and their focus in a lane that truly fulfills them and like really brings them a deep sense of joy and fulfillment, whether that's, in their career or maybe just like being a mother or like it doesn't necessarily have to be in, a professional way or within your career, but this is just the easiest example for me to give. If someone is so lit up by something and they're a generator, they can easily get so obsessed and like so caught up in doing the thing that let's say 3, 4, 5 hours goes by and they've forgotten to eat lunch, they haven't gone up to go to the bathroom, they've forgotten to drink water because they're just like so locked in on what they're doing. The energy beings just have so much energy to give to the world. You know that you've used up your energy if at the end of the day you go to lay your head down on your pillow and you're like, exhausted, but it comes from a place of like, I'm exhausted because I truly have used up all of the battery that I have from within. If we think about your iPhone, let's say you're on your iPhone all day, you're working, you're on social media, you're answering calls, you're answering texts, you're having like Zoom meetings, and at the end of the day, you're down to 6%, or maybe it's like 18%. You're like, time to charge my phone. My phone's gonna now, if I were to use it, it would work a little bit slower. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want to end your days feeling like that's all that I have to give to you all. Like I'm tapped out, I'm done. This sense of like exhaustion comes from using your energy in a fulfilling way. The sense of exhaustion doesn't come from a place of lack or scarcity or I'm burnt out. Because we also know as human beings that we also have to fuel ourselves and we also have to nourish ourselves. So if you get to that point where it's like, I'm at 20% and I don't have anything else to give, but I feel really, really good about what I gave today, then you know that you have truly given all that you are here to give for the day. It's the same for the manifesting generator, but for these energy beings, basically, you are someone that can work on so many different things at once. I know for me personally, being a manifesting generator, I do have days where I solely focus on one thing and one craft, but I find more enjoyment and fulfillment on my days where, let's say, I'm working on a newsletter, I'm recording a podcast episode, that I'm doing this. I'm pouring my energy into so many different lanes, and I have so much of that energy to give. So my best days are usually the days that I'm also really, really productive at the same time. Now, I don't want that to come off like, oh, you're basically telling me that I have to be super productive every day and I have to use up all of my energy. No, listen, depending on if you are a female, if you are a male, if you have a cycle or not, like I'm very intuitive with my energy. I completely have days where I'm like, you couldn't pay me to work. I just need to go for a walk. I need to read my book. I need to chill out. But on the days where I know that I've nourished my body, I've gotten a good amount of sleep, and I'm like, okay, I'm locked and I'm loaded, and I can be pouring my energy into so many different areas. Those are the days where it's so much easier for me to fall asleep at night. And I don't feel like I have this pent-up energy, which is another really great point here. I believe that as a generator and as a manifesting generator, when you just have so much of that, like, that life force energy in you that's just your constant. Like we just have so much energy to give. I know within my own system, if I haven't used that energy, if I haven't really channeled that energy in a certain direction, whether that's I haven't put it into a workout, I haven't channeled it into work, I haven't channeled it somewhere. Like really think about channeling and putting that energy somewhere. At the end of the day, I feel like a little kid and I'm like, well, I don't want to go to sleep. I'm not ready because my energy hasn't been put somewhere. So I still have like 40% in my body to give. So again, you being one of these two energy types, you just have so much energy to give to the world. And that's why it's so, so, so important to be pouring that energy into people and into things and into opportunities that you love, that truly light you up. Because if you don't, it's just going to completely zap that energy, which I think too many of us are just so used to feeling like you are not meant to wake up and already feel exhausted. Now, you may feel exhausted because as a woman, maybe you only got 6 hours of sleep. We know that we need more sleep, but it can also be I'm exhausted because I'm pouring my energy into something or into some lanes, and these lanes aren't fulfilling me. So, that's energy, energetic output, and energetic maintenance for the energy beings. Now, reflectors, we already touched upon. These are people who, similar to projectors and manifestors in the sense where they don't have this consistent access to life force energy, so they really rely on other people. The reflectors out of any of the energy types, because remember, they're completely open. They have all of their 9 centers open. They really, really rely on their environment. So for them, environment and time is truly everything for them. But especially with the projectors and the manifestors, because you don't have that sacral defined, you need you need more time to rest and you need more time to basically just recharge your battery. So naturally, being a manifestor or a projector, you may have felt like I just can't keep up with the world, especially the projectors. Manifestors have this natural spontaneity to their energy. So manifestors really work when it comes to their energy, they're either like 150% on or they're like 20% on. So manifestors really work in seasons. If we think about the seasons that we naturally go through in nature, winter to spring to summer to fall, like that is how manifestors work. So a manifestor may go through a season where they're working on a project for a month or 3 months. They are giving their all to this. They are so excited to wake up in the morning. They have so much energy. But once that project is finished, they almost have to go back into like their hibernation mode. I know for me, and another great point, when it comes to the manifesting generator, this may be a little too complex for you to understand on your own, but all of us either swing a little bit more towards the generator side or a little bit more towards the manifestor side. Naturally, being both energy types, we are both, but we are a generator because we have that sacral divine that's never going to change. But like personally, I definitely swing a little bit more towards the manifestor side. So I know for myself, I go through phases in my journey where I'm just like, why am I not motivated? Like, why do I not have the energy? If I don't take the time to take a step back, go inwards, really like, especially for the manifestors, like disappear, go MIA, like, we don't necessarily always need your energy. There's this quote about nature, like, nature. I'm not going to recite the exact quote because I don't know, but it's like, nature doesn't bloom all year long. Why should you? Maybe that is the exact quote. But it's so, so true. And when I heard that quote, I really, really connect it to the manifestor energy type because this is the type that can be working on something for months at a time, but then maybe they need 3 months off. And I know if you're sitting here and you're working a 9 to 5 job, but you're like, Rebekah, how do I do that? This is just how you are designed. So again, the point of this masterclass, the point of giving you this information is not for you to use this information against you. That's not the point. The point of me giving you this knowledge is for you to then, have the awareness around this is who I am and this is how I operate. And actually, what if I change some things in my lifestyle so that I actually use my energy in the most efficient and effective way? So maybe, I can go super hard in my business for 3 months and then I can take a month off and really not feel that guilty because I was pouring all of my energy that I had into those 3 months. And now I'm able to take a step back and, take some time to come back home and hibernate. And like, this is something that you will feel in your body. I mean, all of us are incredibly intuitive. Whether you think that you are intuitive or not, you are a deeply intuitive being. And with this system and with having this knowledge, it's all about integrating the knowledge and then living it out in your daily life and truly seeing yourself embodying this knowledge. So, the manifestor energy type, just know that you are going to be so on or so off. Again, really the only energy types that are supposed to have this sustainable level of life force energy are the generators and the manifesting generators. And that's why the energy beings work so well with the non-energy beings. We need one another. Like we truly do need one another in order to live our most harmonious, authentic, fulfilling lives. Now, when it comes to the projector, same scenario for the manifestor. You just aren't meant to keep up with the rest of the world. And we just forget that about 70% of the population fall under either the generator or the manifesting generator category. So that's a huge percentage here. So projectors do need a lot of time to rest. And when you are the projector energy type, the cool thing about this is you are here, like you are truly here to show us that we can be even more efficient and even more effective than we already are. So this is the person that can say, listen, I don't want to operate like a generator, even though I love my work. Whereas a generator is like, oh my God, I'm so fulfilled and I'm so lit up by my work. I can work a 12-hour day. Or maybe a manifesting generator is like, I worked 10 hours today and I did 5 million different jobs. A projector is like, yeah, I don't even need to do that. I can work a solid 3 hours and have just create the most incredible outcome from that 3 hour deep work session. The rest of the day, I'm done. I'm going to take a nap. I'm going to go for a walk. I'm going to read my book and not sitting in this energy of, woe is me. Why can't I keep up with the rest of the world? Basically, having this energy of being unapologetic with how you operate. I have a lot of clients that are projectors. I've worked with a lot of projectors. And when I first read their human design, so many of them were just like, thank God, because I've always known that I just don't have the same level of energetic capacity as the people that are surrounding me. It's really, really hard to keep up especially in a 9 to 5 world where, again, most people are built like a generator or a manifesting generator. Projectors are sitting at about 20% of the population right now, and manifestors are even more rare. They're only about 8 to 9%. And then, of course, we have the most rare, which is the reflector type. But knowing that it is okay. It's not just okay, it's like what you truly need to do in order to sustain your energy. Like we have to think in terms of we're playing the long game here, we're not playing the short game. Every single energy type can easily burn themselves out, whether it's, I'm having these long 12-hour days, but it's because I'm doing something that I don't want to be doing, or I'm pouring so much of my energy into all of these different projects that I actually don't care about. Or it's like, a projector working a crazy 10-hour long day when they're just like, I have nothing to give. There's nothing in me. So just know that for the projector, it's all about quality over quantity. It is not selfish for you to not work as much as the next person. You can't think of it as like the hardest working person in the room is also the best person in the room, because that is just not the case. You can easily get the same result within a 2-hour deep work session as the generator that has a 6-hour deep work session. No one's better, okay? It's like we're on two different playing fields here. They don't even really compare, so you can't compare the way that your energy works compared to someone else, and that's the beauty of human design. It's all about tapping into individual power and individual potentiality. There's no way that we can compare our individual potential from one person to the next because we all are just designed to operate so differently. So, for the projector, especially when it comes to working styles, it is so great for you to keep your energy really structured and really boundaried. And that may look like you know, working with a one-on-one client, or keeping your work sessions dialed down to just like 1 hour or 2 hour long, because we don't want to burn you out. Okay, we want to make sure that your energy is contained because your energy is so potent, and that's the beauty of being the projector energy type. Like I think you can just get so much more out of your energy for less, but because of that, you do need more time to recharge your battery. You do need more time to rest. I know a lot of projectors that are like, yeah, I get like 10 hours of sleep at night. Whereas we can have a super lit up projector that's like, nope, I'm fine with 6. Like, again, we really just can't even compare because we're talking about two totally different types. We're talking about an energy type that if they are living within their design, they're always on. And then we're talking about a non-energy type that is really, really relying on that energy type. You see where I'm getting at here? And that's why it's so important for us to understand how we operate. I know that being a manifesting generator, that more is actually better for me. I tell all manifesting generators, like, more is more. We don't have to focus on one thing. If you have 8 things going on for you in your life right now, but those 8 things are really filling your cup, then you are living harmoniously within your design. Now, if some of those things aren't, we need to consciously become aware of that because it's stripping this life force energy that we are meant to be giving and channeling into one direction. So, I hope that that gave you a little more clarity in regards to energetic output and energetic maintenance. Again, my manifesting generator brain just like moves on from one idea to the next. But I thought that this was really, really important because this is really when we get into the nitty-gritty of your individual energy dynamics. Okay, now let's go into the 7 authority. So, your authority is your unique decision-making strategy that really helps you to stay in alignment and allows you to make very truthful, very certain, and very decisive decisions. So, there are 7 different authorities. So, I'm going to start with what allows you to have the authority that you have. So, your authority is defined and determined by your defined centers and their connections. So, this is my chart. So, I am an emotional authority because the first center that we are checking in with, which is the solar plexus, is lit up. And basically, it kind of works like a flow. So, It goes from solar plexus to sacral center, spleen, ego, G center, throat, mind center, and then the crown. It kind of like flows like this. So, what do each of the authorities represent? So if you have an emotional authority, what that means is you make decisions over time because naturally you have this fluctuating emotional wave. I'm up, I'm down, I'm empowered, I'm disempowered. It's kind of like moving like a wave, right? So you need to make sure that you are giving yourself enough time to come to this cool, calm, and collected space, basically, in order for you to gain clarity on a decision because your emotional waves can really, really influence you. We never want to make a decision when we're in a high or in a low. If you aren't emotional in the past, you may have felt like, oh, this is the right decision for me. I'm like in such a high, but give it a day or two, give it a week. I love to play this game with myself, even if I know I'm like, okay, this is the direction that I want to go. Like, one, I think of when I think about this decision, does it make me emotional in a positive way? If I'm on a walk and I'm thinking about doing something for my work or, whatever in my life is happening, a decision that I need to make around that thing. Like, do I start to cry? Do I feel myself smiling? Do I feel myself feeling really happy about that thing? That's when you know that it's going to be the right decision, but also knowing that, like, naturally as an emotional, you are just constantly fluctuating and moving from one emotion to the next. So giving yourself some time to really like wait this out. It is okay. Time is on your side. Just know that if someone is rushing you to make a decision, like, you can be straight up with them and say like, "Hey, I need an extra like 2 days and I can give you that decision then." If they can't wait, well then they can't wait and that's up to them. But yeah, making sure that you are riding through this emotional wave. Now, a sacral center operates off of physical awareness. So you are guided by your gut responses. This authority really relies on these physical reactions that you are having in your body. It's very important for people with a sacral center lit up or people that have a sacral authority to ask themselves yes or no questions. You're gonna just like feel the sensation in your body. A lot of people are ruled by their sacral. So if you're someone that's like, yeah, I like really trust in what my gut is telling me, that's when you know that you're making the right decision. It's listening to this immediate physical sensation. Like you're gonna feel this actual feeling in your physical body. It's very, very visceral. Now, splenic involves instinctual awareness. So it's different than like a physical feeling. With splenic, it's more of just like this like rapid sense of a knowing. It's very instinctual. So you are someone that just like knows in the moment if something is for you or not for you. It's very spontaneous. Again, it's like this rapid knowing of like, yep, I need to go do this. Or like, I don't even really understand why I have to do this, but I just like know. Again, the spleen center is all about survival. It's all about health. It's all about safety. So this is someone that has incredible instinctual awareness. So trust in that knowing, and it's not going to stay forever. It's just this rapid, like razor sharp sense of like, yes, I need to go do this, or like, no, like I cannot go do this. And naturally, everyone that has a splenic authority is very, very attuned to the health of their body. So pay attention to that. Now, ego center decisions are basically based on like your personal desires and personal will. So for you, it's all about like, I want this because it's going to make me a better me. Maybe that certain car is going to make you more yourself. Maybe that certain house is going to make you more yourself. Maybe that certain job is going to make you more of yourself. Now, we don't want to make a decision based on this inflation of our ego, but think about it. Like, the saying, like the heart wants what it wants. Like, if you're just like, yep, I want this just because, like, trust in that want and trust in that desire. Again, if it's coming back to your value system, if it's coming back to this thing is going to allow me to be my best self and show up in the world in that way, if you can have that conversation with yourself and it's positive, then you know that you've made the right decision. So for you, it's all about focusing on that self-interest and really like personal empowerment. Now, self-projected is all about involving expressing your thoughts and feelings aloud to gain clarity. So the way that I like to explain self-projected authority is think about like this ball of yarn. We need to actually vocalize what we're thinking and what we're feeling in order to unravel that yarn and come to clarity and come to a sense of knowing, basically. So for you, your reflections are going to help in this sense of understanding and what really feels right for you. So having some type of sounding board is really great for you. Vocalizing what you're thinking is going to help you come to a decision, whether that's like having a conversation with someone, just talking out loud to yourself, journaling. Like, it's really important to make sure that you are expressing your thoughts and feelings, not always because you want someone else's insight and advice. You just need to hear yourself talk, basically. You need to hear yourself project, basically. And then we have mental authority. So the only people that have mental authority are projectors. So this involves processing information in a very logical, analytical manner. It's like akin to basically how a computer works. So very, very few people actually operate off of making a decision in a logical sense and like a rational sense, basically. The world has taught us to be more logical and to be more rational and to not make a decision based off of our emotions, but actually, like half of the world, has emotional authority. So, only a very slim percentage of people are meant to come to a decision in a very logical, rational way. But if you have a mental authority, this is very much so in alignment for you. So for you, because you are so open in your aura, and basically the only centers that are defined are either your mind center and your crown or your throat center, your mind center and your crown, you are very open to picking up energy. So for you, it's really important to be in an environment that allows you to feel safe in the way that you think and to share that out loud. So to have this very contemplative process with yourself and allowing yourself to really like sit on these ideas and sit in that reflective, contemplative energy where you can share these thoughts and feelings in a safe environment with someone that allows you to feel safe, similar to self-projected. But for you, your mind is going to work in a very step-by-step logical fashion, like moving from A to B to C to D. It's just going to make sense to you and click and come together in a very logical, rational way. Now, the last authority is only for reflectors because this is lunar authority. So for you, we've already discussed this, but decisions need to be made with time. Never rush yourself into making a decision. It is not about waiting out that full 28 days necessarily, but it's allowing yourself the time to sit back and reflect on experiences, on the way things made you feel, on, how did I feel when I was around those people, or what was I feeling in this situation? Like giving yourself as much time as you need in order to come to that decision. Now, lastly, we have the 12 profiles. I love talking about the profile. So the profile is very similar to um, basically like a personality test. So if you've ever taken like an Enneagram or Myers-Briggs, I would say that the profile is the thing that's the most similar to that. So within your profile, we always have two numbers. The way that I like to teach the profiles is we're going to go over the numbers that make up the profile instead of going over all 12. I think this can just be like too much information. So really these two numbers are a combination that reflects your personality traits and your archetypes. So this really helps to offer insight into your life path and how you interact and like share information with people. So with the profile, we have a number on the inside and a number on the outside. So the number that is on the inside for me, that is my 6. This is the side of me that I'm very, very conscious of. And then my 2, which is on the outside, is the side of me similar to the rising sign in astrology that I may not see in myself as much as the first number, as the 6, but it's very, very clear to someone who's meeting me. So we have a conscious number and unconscious number. After you learn about both numbers in your profile, you'll probably be able to sit back and be like, oh yeah, I see both sides of myself. But I know for me, it took me like a little while to really fully own and accept my second number and be like, ah, okay, actually, like this is such a huge part of who I am. So it's determined by the two numbers based on your personality sun and on the design side as well. So we have a personality side and a design side. So let's go over the six numbers. So numbers 1 through 3 show us how we best learn about life. Everyone learns about life in a different way. So this is like, let's call it more of like my personal process. These are personal numbers. And then the last three numbers, numbers 4, 5, and 6, are external numbers. So these are transpersonal numbers. So we have that information. We've learned about life. Now, how do I share this information with other people? How do I get the way that I process things out to the world, basically? So line 1 is known as the investigator. This is someone who loves research. They love to get to the bottom of things. This is someone who like basically represents someone that just like loves to learn. This is a foundational learner. They seek security through knowledge and facts and understanding. They are thorough in research and preparation. They love human psychology. And these are people that can very easily like go down a rabbit hole if it's something that they're obsessed about or something that they're like, oh my gosh, I just want to learn every single thing about it. So naturally, ones are people who can do really well in a traditional school setting. So like going to college, maybe becoming a lawyer, becoming a doctor. These are people that like love to read. Again, like having the facts about something allows you to feel very safe and very certain and very secure in the way that you share information with the world. You just want to like get to the bottom of things. So number 1 is known as the knowledge seeker and the investigator. Now, line 2 works in a very different way, where line 1 is like, I want to learn everything about this. I want to read everything about this. I want to study. I want to get the facts. Line 2 is just like, I'm just like good at this, and I don't even know how I came to be about being really good at this thing. So these are people that are known for their natural talents. People with this line need a lot of solitude to recharge, and they often shine similar to the projectors when they're recognized and invited in to share their gifts. So I have a 2 on the outside. I have very strong hermit energy about me, and I am all about my personal knowledge. I know that there are several things that I've done in my life where it's like, I don't even know how I got to become really, really good at that thing. 2s have to really, really learn how to trust in knowing that they just have these very strong natural talents, which we're all talented, we're all gifted, we all have strengths. But with 2, it's less leaning on the information and the books and the research and getting this certification or even just like going out and doing it a million times. Trust in like you may just be really, really good at something, but in order to see yourself being really good at that thing, you need a lot of time to separate yourself from the world. So like put up that do not disturb sign and like go MIA for a little bit, explore these talents of your own. Again, this is someone who needs a lot of time to be by themselves to see their gifts really come online. And once you're like so obsessed with that gift and that craft and what you have to give, like people will invite you in and recognize you for having those gifts. But trust in this knowing that maybe I'm just good at this. And like, I don't need to prove to you why I'm good at this thing. Now, line 3 is known as the experimenter and the adventurer. So this is someone that works in the opposite way of a 1, where 1's like, I have to learn everything about it before I go and do it. 3's like, F that, I'm just going to throw myself into it. This is someone that thrives off of trial and error. They're always like, I'm going to be bold. I'm going to be courageous. I'm just going to go ahead and do it. And even if I'm not good at it, even if it doesn't work, like it's okay. I learned through hands-on life experience. So these are people that are naturally very, very resilient, and they are very adaptable and gain wisdom from both their successes and failures. So To go back, line one is someone that loves to get to the bottom of things, natural researcher, knowledge seeker, natural investigator. Line two is known as the hermit. This is also known as like the natural and the person that just kind of like dances through life based on their personal knowledge. And then line three is known as the adventurer and the experimenter. They have to constantly be putting themselves through this trial and error process, sifting out what worked, what didn't work. I like to call it like just like throwing things at the wall and seeing what sticks and what doesn't stick. What's really important for threes is to recognize that you can't get caught up in your failures. You are meant to just throw yourself into life, to take what works and take what doesn't work and keep it moving. If you are sitting in this energy of like, oh, I'm such a failure because this didn't work, you are not recognizing the power that comes with having this natural part of your essence and personality and archetype. Like you are meant to show people that it's okay to fail. It's okay for things not to work out, but people need to see other people trying and failing in order for them to understand like, oh, it's okay for me to do it too. So again, lines one through three are all about our personal process, how we best learn about life. And then numbers four, five, and six are those external numbers. So how do I now share this information and basically like connect with people and interact with them? So fours are known as the natural networkers and the opportunists. So they have a very, very strong focus and emphasis on networking and building out like these very strong personal relationships. This number thrives on supportive environments and is really good at building connections that lead them to opportunities. So for the four, I like to give this analogy of like you're the spider and you're always like building out your own web. Like for you, maybe a job comes through, oh, my cousin's ex-boyfriend's sister, this, that. It's like every opportunity for you comes through someone somehow in your network because you are so good at bringing people together, because you are a natural connector, a natural networker. Naturally, not line four may not be as prone to wanting to be on social media. Not to say that you can't, but I know a lot of line fours personally that do a lot of their best work like offline when they are personally connecting with people. They're also known as like the glue. So you know those people that are like they are the glue that holds the family together. They are the glue that holds the friend group together. That is the four. So really start to like not go after, but like flex the environment and like really utilize the network that you have created and cultivated over time, because that is so, so powerful for you when it comes to new opportunities and seeing success and abundance in your life. Now, where line four's message is more personal and like their focus is more so on quality over quantity, line five works in the opposite way. So, line five, like their truth and their message is really for anyone and everyone. They're known as the liberator. This is someone that is known naturally for being incredibly visionary and innovative. And this is someone that is a natural problem solver. And they're often projected upon by other people. So this is the person that like is in the airport and they're just like talking to everyone. Naturally, people are telling them their life stories and they're like, I didn't really ask for this, but like people just have this tendency to like dump on me or share everything that they're going through with me. Because line five is known as the hero energy. They're known as the liberator. With this five energy, with your message being less personal and more impersonal, this may be the person that really shines online because they're like, hey, I'm not afraid of being seen by a lot of people. Just know that line fives can easily fall under the people-pleasing trap, which is what we never want to do. Like, you can't save everyone. You can't solve everyone's problem. You have to really pick and choose whose call you're going to respond to and whose phone call you're going to pick up, basically. You have to be very selective, even though naturally so many people are going to come to you because they want your help. They want your guidance. They want your support. You naturally have that energy about you, but really again, that message of yours can be for anyone and everyone, but just know that it is okay to be very, very selective with your energy. Now, line six is known as the wise sage, the role model. Line six works in three different phases. So, years 1 through 30, you operate as a three. So, everything that I said about the three is also true for you. But after year 30, you transition into your second phase. So, first phase is all about trial and error. I'm being the adventurer, the experimenter. Then you're going to take a step back, where before you were the player on the field in the game, now you're the parent sitting on the bleachers. You don't have to go through as much trial and error because you've gone through so much of that in your first 30 years that you have a clear sense of what's for you and what's not for you. So you're going to naturally move through this cycle of being, the natural experimenter to I'm transitioning into this very wise, almost like Buddha-like energy. How do people, or how do you get to that position? Basically, you have to go through so much life experience. So you're naturally moving through that transition. Ultimately, you're someone that is this beautiful example of embodying wisdom and becoming a guide for other people. And you draw people in through your own life experiences because you are here to serve and be a role model. Really, the energy for the six is being that role model that your younger self wishes existed. I know that I have that energy for myself. Sorry, my ring light just died. But for me, being a 6'2", I've always known that there hasn't been one person that I've necessarily always looked up to in my life. It's always been like, how do I become this next best version of myself? And now being the age that I am now, I can look back at Rebekah from 20 years ago, from 10 years ago, and be like, this is who I wish I had when I was that age. So naturally, you're moving through those three life phases. Now, for six, when I first found out about my human design, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to wait until I'm like 50 or 60 to become this like wise person for someone else and become a coach. That's not what it's about. Just know that naturally you are going to integrate through these three different phases in your life. And yeah, you're naturally just going to end up in this position where you almost like giving off this energy of being so wise, like a Buddha or like a sage. Now, that's not to say that you can't embody this energy being a different profile or being a different line. This is just the archetype for the six being the role model. And there you have it. We have gone through your big three. So by now, you know what your energy type is, you know what your authority is, and you know what your profile is. You have all of this information. You have such a good foundation to how you operate, how your design operates. This is great information if you want to learn more about your partner or your best friend or a parent or a sibling. Again, I think that if you have this knowledge, but you don't know anything else about your human design, you have a very clear sense of your core. You have a very clear sense of this is how I operate because human design, astrology, these systems can be very complex. You don't need to learn everything at once. If you start to apply this information and this knowledge in your life, you start to integrate it, you start to embody it, I promise you that your life will start to shift in really, really big ways. So, thank you for attending this masterclass. I hope that you are able to walk away with a clearer sense of who you are and how you operate and how you can make things happen for you and your life and in this new year.